Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, that's Jack.
And this is take 4.
Take 4. And today we're going to do something that I've been a fan of ever since I started watching it on Red Dwarf on the BBC, late night PBS. Man, Lister always talked about Vindaloo's this, that, and the other, so I had to find something, trace it down. Now it's favorite. You can find me on Xbox at Dread Vindaloo. This is one of my favorite things. But it's always been kind of cost prohibitive because there's so much stuff that goes into the Vindaloo sauce. We found a way around it. So let's get into it. And this is what you're going to need. And this is how we're cheating. We got bottled Vindaloo sauce.
Yeah.
We found this at like a Kroger or something, or like a couple bucks. It was super easy instead of having to get all the stuff. So we got meat. We use pork. You can use anything, really. You can use deer and beer. Yeah, man. Deer Vindaloo would be awesome. Some onions. We're going to chop those up. A single bell pepper. It's frozen.
Very frozen.
Frozen. And we got some celery and carrots. We usually don't have to use a lot of that, but we did onions. Every recipe that I found online was just like cut up a bunch of onions, put it in with your meat, and put the vindaloo on it. I like a lot of the other stuff.
We had it on hand for another video, so I was like, why not? Just throw it in.
And it makes it last longer.
Yeah.
And it gives it a better flavor because you can stuff to it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Carrots. 2 over the top. Now this is solid.
Yeah, you're going to cut up your chunk of bell pepper there.
Sliced it long ways here. Yeah. And then go back and rip out that heart with all the seeds. Really easy.
Long pieces?
Yeah, we did long skinny pieces there for those instead of like chunks like the onions or whatever, that we can tell them apart. Our pork, just cut it. But like I was saying, if you could use this with any kind of meat, I think ground beef would kind of be hard to do, but I've seen people do it with shrimp. I've seen people do it with pork. Chicken is usually the biggest one. Lamb is a great one. If you can get your hands on some cheap lamb, that's great. We had pork because we had some leftover pork.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and put that in there. I think it was about a pound and a half. So, excuse the butter in the pan. We had a bit of an accident, so we did take 2.
Yeah,
we used about a tablespoon and a half of butter.
Lots of butter. To me, that's a lot of butter.
That's a lot of butter. And then we started piling our vegetables in here. And we realized that we had a little more vegetables than we had pan.
Yeah.
So, well, use a little bit of magic, boogie, 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 and boom.
Something's different. I don't
bigger
know
skillet.
What it is.
Yeah.
Oh, skillet.
So we put all the vegetables in the butter in there. We leave the meat out. We're going to let this break down and cook a little bit. You want it to brown, but not quite cook all the way through because you got to cook it with the pork that's in there. So we just keep stirring it. It's basically you're stir frying the vegetables before you get anything in there. You can season them here if you want to put anything in there. If you have some extra curry powder or anything, but the Vindaloo has so much stuff in it. It has such a great flavor to it.
We didn't add any seasonings.
I don't
to
add
vegetables.
anything to it. No. I heard people have. Now, I made room over here to put the pork in once everything's starting to get a little wilty and a little brown. That way, just the meat can get on the middle.
Yeah, so you would cook your meat,
Yeah.
the vegetables, and
So just kind of put that pork in there and get it to where it's at least white and starting to brown before you put any sauce in it. Because you're going to cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes after that. So we'll go ahead and put it in there. You can separate it a little bit. Give it the double horn. You got to put that magic catching hoodoo on it, right? Like,
yeah, that's what we call it, right?
yeah, that's what we call it. Most people call it listening to metal while you cook, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So get it around, make sure you get it all over. Now, don't judge your meat by the smallest piece. I'm going to show you why here in a second. It'll start to cook. Some of it will get on the metal a lot better than the other ones. You'll look at it and say, oh, that's done. And some of the bigger pieces, if it's not uniform, like because we're not trained chefs,
Yeah.
it's not uniform. Some of the smaller pieces are going to cook a lot better than a big one. See, that one looks cooked. You're fine, but you can want these bigger pieces, and you can kind of flip it.
It says definitely
You see where it's
not
pink on the
done.
inside. Yeah, that is not done. And pork, that is a big deal. So just put it back on there. Make
Not
sure.
all of your meat will cook evenly.
Yeah, so don't be in a hurry when you cook this one. It's not going to take a long time, but just make sure everything's cooked thoroughly. Yeah. So just get it around. Again, just meat on the metal. Get it. You'll start seeing it all white and starting to brown a little bit. All your vegetables are nice and properly cooked. It's still a little bit crispy in them. Not crunchy. Not horrible and nasty, right? And then you can check your meat all over. Not pink in the middle. You can cut it open if you need to. I do that a lot with my meat just because I'm worried about it cooking too much.
Chicken in specific.
Right.
Especially with chicken.
Once you get that done, just take your Vindaloo out of the jar and just put it in. Be sure to get you a spoon, mostly because the noise.
Oh, the noise is awful.
Noise, Jack.
Y'all are lucky. I turned it down.
It's right up there with salting or seasoning the spoon just for him. And be sure to scrape it, and then scrape the lid, because some of that stuff sticks to the top of there too. Especially if you shake it beforehand for whatever reason, it'll get on the lid. So you don't want to waste that half a tablespoon to tablespoon that's stuck to the lid. Now once you get it in here, get your spoon, get you a fake hand if you're using a cast iron like we did, because it gets hot.
Cast iron equals hot.
Yeah. and then stir it. Make sure everything gets a little bit of this Vindaloo on it. Now, usually there's not as many vegetables, so it's a lot thicker and a lot more sauce, which is good if you have naan and that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to spread it, more vegetables is always better.
Yeah.
Make sure it's all covered. Then turn your heat all the way down.
Let it simmer for how long?
About 15 minutes. We did it for about 20, just when you're doing it. And while you're doing that, cook a cup of rice. Now, we've done rice. If you don't know how to do it, there's going to be a description down at the doobly-doo. You can check it out down there. Now, once it's been simmering, you can see it's bubbling, boiling everywhere. It'll be great, right? Now, they tell you to let it rest or let it cool. It smells great. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's hot. You're good, right? So you don't want it to feel a little bit. Just go ahead and pull everything out. Kill your fire. And let it sit, serve it on a bed of rice, and you're done.
Now, that is really photogenic food.
Yeah, it is, and it's great. It's not as good as the place I usually go for Indian food. Shout out to Mogul over in Bay Area. If you got the money and the time and you're in the area, please go by there. Give them my love. They make the best Vindaloo. First Vindaloo I got ever was there. It's great. But we got this one, and I think it cost maybe $6, $7.
Yeah, it's cheap stuff.
And feeds 2 to 4 easily. We're still eating on it because there's leftovers, especially when you add the rice in there.
It can go a long way.
Very outstanding. So there you have it. Awesome, spicy Vindaloo. You can put any kind of meat in there. I really want to try a shrimp one when I find me some cheap shrimp. We're going to try that, and we'll bring it back to this. So try it out. Let us know how it went. Put it down in the comments, man. Sure, like, share, comment, ring the little bell. Very much appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. We're going to be on YouTube Tuesdays and Fridays, or you can find us on Facebook at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen there, Instagram at Living Between, Pinterest at Living Between Paychecks there, or on Patreon. That's the other one. If you want to help us out, we very much appreciate it. You can find us over there at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen then, and we'll see you next time.
I forgot it too.